Good kill, good kill. Hey, good kill.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. As many of you are aware, ED has recently dropped the new 2022 and beyond trailer or teaser or whatever you want to call that. So usually they take this opportunity to, tease a couple of things that are coming in the future. They did that with the Apache, they've done it with the Viper. So let's dissect this new little trailer or teaser that they dropped and see what information we can get out of it and extract from it. It also appears that ED dropped a bunch of Easter eggs or little teasers or riddles for us to figure out at the end of the video. That's where they put it. So when we get there, we're going to dissect those Easter eggs and see what we come up with in terms of theories. So stick around for that. I'd like to hear your comments on my theories in the comment section below. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So right off the bat here, we have the F-15E Strike Eagle by RAZBAM. You can see it under development here. And we'll just pause the image right here and open it up a little bit. So what we see is a pretty detailed external model. It seems like they pretty much wrapped up that. The pilot models are looking good. What I'm most interested in is the background. Okay, we see a lot of beautiful mountains, possibly Afghanistan, possibly Falklands. We know that RAZBAM is working on the Falklands map, so this may possibly have something to do with that. It's a little too soon to say still. And if I was a betting man, I would probably lean towards the Falklands map, but still too soon to say. Here we got the Apache and we have the A6 Intruder there, as you saw. The A6 Intruder probably still way down the road in terms of development. That's being worked on by Heatblur. It'll probably come as AI first and then, form into an actual module down the road. And as you can see here, the dynamic moving clouds and weather conditions, it's very cool. Looking forward to that. And now there is going to be some interesting stuff happening here. We see the Mariana's Guam map here, and we discussed in a prior video how it'd be really cool if they had a World War II version of the Mariana's map. It would open up the possibility of Pacific Theater, US versus Japan, World War II, which is a very underrated and underused theater of war for basically all simulations. And I'd really like to see them improve the performance of the Mariana's map. That would be great. We have clouds once again, the dynamic clouds moving through the mountains. I'm sure many of you have realized that ED has added much more detail to their ground assets. It's a very nice change. I hope to see much more of that in the future. Possibly improvements to infantry graphics and movement and behavior in the future as well. That's a huge thing we need, especially with the Apache coming. Looks like a quick peek of the Falklands map. We got a couple of Hornets in formation. And here we have the new explosion effects, much larger explosions. F-15E it looks like. SAMs, again, more detail on the ground assets. There was a little shot of the F-16 there. I think that was to imply that they're going to continue developing that, obviously as expected, and I would like to see a lot more work done on the flight model of the F-16, particularly with the G onset. And as you can see, we're seeing a whole lot of Strike Eagle shots, so probably going to be seeing that relatively soon. Not too long to wait now for the Strike Eagle. We have C-47s expanding World War II assets here. Again, more ground targets. Beautiful new afterburner effects possibly to come in the future. And they may have fixed the flickering of the missile trails, so the missiles are looking a little bit more realistic. And we have paratrooper drops from C-47s, which will obviously expand the operations we can do in a World War II environment. Now the really interesting thing that they did here, we're going to see it real soon. We're going to talk about it once again. More World War II assets, the artillery firing there. Just see general improvements to graphics. I'd like to see that new multi-threading thing that they were talking about come out. F-16, like I said, has a lot of work to do in the flight model. The cloud effects are looking a little bit cleaner. I'm sure those will undergo further improvements. We'll get the Apache soon. We see, again, the ground assets getting lots of work. Probably the ground assets are getting a lot of work because they know the Apache is going to be looking at things up close, and so they want the high detail, high fidelity for ground assets. This is where things are going to start to get a little bit more interesting. What you can see here is an armed technical, possibly insurgent, and that seems like they're introducing new ground assets again for the Apache. There's going to be a lot of new things that are going to come that are going to be targets. They're going to serve as targets for the Apache. And you guys remember that we talked about the Marianas map, the Guam area, a World War II version of it. As you can see, they are here teasing the Japanese Zero, possibly implying that we may be moving towards a Pacific theater for DCS, which is very cool. It's a long time coming, something like that. We are getting a lot of shots of the A6 Intruder, which makes me wonder if it's at least the AI version is almost ready to come out. The Falklands map, I would assume, is also relatively close to release. Maybe, I don't know. But it does look like it's come along quite nicely. And so here we start to get a little bit closer. Now, we got lots of shots of the F-14, always a beautiful aircraft. We start to move towards a couple of hints that I think ED has dropped, a couple of Easter eggs, if you will. And I think we should look into them a little bit and break them down. I'm going to pause it right here. So obviously this is the Eiffel Tower. We do not have this in the Normandy or the Channel map at this time. It's obviously Paris. None of the maps touch that area of the map, so there's an implication that they will be building new parts to these World War II maps. Now keep that in mind as we continue. And we have here Big Ben, so we now have Paris and we have England, we have London, right? And I think they are implying that they're going to be modeling from London to Paris. Now, why is that interesting? All right, so let me show you why that's interesting. Our channel map right now is something like this. It comes to about Dieppe to Dunkirk, something like this. This is the channel map, give or take. It's obviously a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller. And this is the Normandy map. This general area right here. This is the Normandy map. So when we look at these two maps, what we see is ED focusing a lot on this Western theater. We already questioned why they made a channel map. Like, you already had your Normandy, you know, Western France theater. Why did you make a channel map instead of going to, like, you know, making a Japan map or an Africa map or something for World War II, right? And now we have ED saying that they want to make a map from London to Paris. Okay, so what does this mean? Why a third map of the Western theater? How does that make any sense? Well, I think what they're trying to tell us is that they want to merge these two maps, the Channel and the Normandy map, into one big map that goes London to Paris like this. Something like this is what they want to give us, which is amazing. If they can give us if they can attach these maps together and give us something huge like this, now we have ourselves a really interesting World War II, you know, map for the Western theater. So I have no evidence of this, obviously. I'm just putting two and two together. Let me know what your thoughts are on this theory in the comment section below. So that would be quite the interesting, you know, adjustment for World War II in DCS. That was a quick little shot of the F-15 rear seat there. And once again, more of the Falklands map. Some people are calling that the Afghanistan teaser. I don't know if that's true. It looks more like the Falklands map to me, which again, I think should be coming out pretty soon. Here we go with what I believe to be ED's last little Easter egg or teaser or puzzle that they left us. Let's have a look right here. And hold on, wait for it. There it is. As you can see, we've been given a latitude and longitude. We're going to go figure this out in a second. And here's the last clue that they gave us. That is a HUD image of an F4 Phantom, obviously implying that there is now an F4 Phantom in play. That's great news. We've needed an F4 for a very long time. Let's go check out these coordinates that they gave us. So when we type in that latitude and longitude here, it brings us to this airbase in Afghanistan. It is Bagram Air Base or airport in Afghanistan. It's the road right beside it is where the coordinates bring us. It also gives us a decimal degrees. We're going to go ahead and put this into Google Maps. Okay, so we have put in the decimal degrees and we once again end up at Bagram Air Base as expected. Now, why are we here? What's so interesting about this base? Are they teasing an Afghanistan map? Maybe. It's very possible, especially with the Apache coming in the near future. They may very well be teasing an Afghanistan map. When we zoom in on this map here, we see lots of Strike Eagles, right? That's what those look like. Again, they've already teased the Strike Eagle. They've showed us many shots of it, so I don't think that was the intention. What I think, when you read the description of the Bagram Air Base runway, what you get is that it has a single runway capable of handling large military aircraft, including the Lockheed Martin C-5 Galaxy, the Antonov, blah, 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 a bunch of heavies. Okay, so heavy aircraft can land, transports, cargo, that kind of stuff can land on this very impressive runway. Okay, and what we see at this base when we zoom in is a bunch of C-130s. Right, we see a whole bunch of C-130s. I don't see C-5 Galaxy. There's a bunch of stuff there. I can't quite make out these little ones, but I do not see. We got some Chinooks here, UH-60s it looks like, but I don't think that, like, this is my guess, they pointed to this airbase because it has the one singular runway to receive heavies, and then there's a bunch of C-130s here. Dare I say that they are implying that there may be a C-130 module coming to DCS. I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe it's an Afghanistan teaser. I have no idea. But if I was a betting man, that is what I would bet. That they are implying that there's a C-5 Galaxy or a C-130 coming to DCS. And I think much more likely that they're teasing a C-130 because we have a lot of C-130s here. So, all right, well, those are my theories, guys. So let me know in the comment section below what you think, if any of this made any sense, or if you think I'm completely wrong. Also, let's take note of the fact that there was absolutely no Eurofighter module shown in this video. So the complete omission of the Eurofighter makes me think that the development still has a long way to go, and we shouldn't even expect to hear anything about it in the coming year. Okay, guys, thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.